Now on Denver 7 News at 8 a.m. on Local 3, it's a Denver 7 Weather Action Day with new snow falling across the Front Range. Taking a live look now at Lookout Mountain, you can see how much it's piled up in the foothills. And we want to get you a view of Denver here from our camera on top of Empower Field. There really is no view from this camera. That skyline is somewhere behind all that white. To the street level now, this is our camera on top of our studios at Spear and Lincoln. It is wet out there. The snow sticking to the roads in some places, and you can see those cars are moving a little bit more slowly than usual. Meteorologist Lisa Hidalgo is keeping an eye on the snow right now. Some places did get several inches already.
Yeah, we've already picked up about 2 to 4 inches in spots. We're likely going to see another 2 to 4 on top of that. So it is a Denver 7 Weather Action Day. And you'll see here where we get some of the darker blue down just east of the Springs toward Lyman, where we're seeing a little that heavier snow. So light to moderate right now here in Denver, but again, an additional 2 to 4 inches by tonight. Out east there, a little closer to spots like, well, to the south, Castle Rock in the east toward Elizabeth, Kiowa into Lyman. We do have some heavier totals in store, about 5 to 10 inches. That's where we're under a winter storm warning until midnight tonight. In purple, all of Denver under a winter weather advisory. Again, in effect until midnight tonight. So this snow is going to continue throughout the day. And we have all of southern Colorado under that winter storm warning. Some heavier totals and down in through the southwestern mountains. Totals are going to be right around 1 to 2 feet. Great for some of the ski resorts there. Again, right around 3 to 6 for Denver, heavier to the south and west, and then a lot lighter to the north. We're expecting upwards of around 1 to 3 inches near Fort Collins and Greeley. We are going to see a nice warm up tomorrow, kind of 30s, but the sunshine's going to feel good.
Yeah, it will feel good. Right now we have a couple of crashes up on Highway 36 around foothills. Let me take you to the cameras. All right, so this is the one on the eastbound side coming out of Boulder, and you can see somebody failed to navigate the roadway correctly and went right in and through the fence. And so this shows you some of the slick conditions. Just going too fast for the conditions. And I can't tell if it was the snow from the crash that covered the windshield or what, but maybe they didn't clear their car. There's also one on the westbound side right before foothills causing big backups. I'll show you on the map in just a second. C470 Santa Fe westbound, a crash there. They just opened lanes on southbound 25 here between Broadway and University. That's good news. And we do have still very slow traffic on I-25 120th, just cleared a crash right under the bridge. Let me show you the drive time going to Boulder with that westbound crash right there before foothills. So that's slow coming in from McCaslin. We still have some slow traffic on I-70. Earlier crashes between Kipling and Wadsworth are pretty much cleared off, and still looking at some delays down here on the south side. They just called out a crash on I-25, the northbound side between Castle Pines and Ridgegate. You see some slower traffic here on 270, I-76, that north side, nearly an hour getting into downtown Denver.
Well, that's the overview. We want to get you down to the neighborhood level here. Denver 7's Veronica Acosta is spending the morning on the west side of the metro. She's live now from the Ken Carroll community just off C470. Foothills got a lot of snow, Veronica.
They did. And take a look at the actual roadway. That's what we want to point you to right away. This is at Ken Carroll and Schaefer. It looks a lot different than some of these streets, even the highways that we've seen so far this morning. A lot slushier. You can tell when the car kind of goes by, it kicks back a little bit of that slush. And we're definitely seeing that's the case when you have kind of multiple cars driving in a line behind each other. So that is kind of what they're dealing with this morning. We've seen a couple of them slide a bit if they're making a right turn or a left turn. But for the most part, everyone seems to be driving at a good speed, not too fast. As far as the snow goes, there are a lot of shovelers out this morning. We've seen a ton of them kind of starting to clear out those sidewalks and making sure they're as safe as possible for anyone out there. And of course, you can see the snow is still coming down. It's pretty much been very consistent all morning long on this side of town. Guys, back to you.
All right. Thank you, Veronica. South of Denver was expected to see a little more snow, but it hasn't impacted the drive too much. Denver 7's Jessica Crawford is in Castle Rock now. You've been all around the South Metro, Jessica. Cold, we know, but the roads aren't too bad.
Debatable about the roads, Nicole. So we came up here, we're at Meadows Parkway and Castleton Drive, and Photog Sam actually called it. He wanted to come over to this Loaf and Jug gas station over here because you can see that it's up there on a hill. So he thought that we might see some cars having some trouble, and in fact we did. We saw one car that actually spun out and very nearly hit the pole right there there at that Meadows Parkway area that he's pointing that camera to. So really that just tells us that if you are out here, Veronica mentioned it, roads are getting slushier. So yeah, we've seen that snow convert from just that white, nice, powdery stuff to becoming dirty, to it becoming slushy and something really easy for your car to slip on, which is something that you are going to want to keep in mind as you're traveling throughout this morning. Another thing is the snow keeps coming down. It feels even windier now than it felt earlier, now that we're here in Castle Rock, and so that's going to affect visibility. And I mentioned it earlier, I do want to mention it again, as there's all this brown stuff on the road that is going to kick up on the back of your car's backup cam, and that is going to block the backup cam and make it more difficult for you to see. The last thing that you want to do in these conditions is make it tougher for yourself to see where you're going, so make sure to clear off that backup cam. Live from Castle Rock, I'm Jessica Crawford, Denver 7.
Yeah, already getting dirty out there. Thank you. Great advice there, Jessica. Denver city offices and state government offices are on a delayed start this morning, but Denver is likely one of the lesser impacted parts of the metro. In fact, we have had Danny New out around the city. He's standing by in City Park.
Gotta run, sorry.
No with problem. The dogs. Danny.
Sorry, I was playing with the dog,
Nicole. You're too distracted by the dogs. Yeah.
As you were talking, I was like, ooh, dog. It's just really exciting. We've seen a lot of dogs out here. We've seen people cross-country skiing, actually. I'm not from Colorado. I don't know if that's normal, but I've seen people cross-country skiing. I've seen people jogging in basketball shorts. I've seen couples on romantic walks as if it's not 15 degrees outside. But, you know, we are by a lovely lake at City Park. Look, even the birds are cuddling right now. There is a small fraction in the center of the lake that's not totally frozen, so that's where all the birds are hanging out, getting their little morning splash time in, and a lot of them have been kind of huddling together, which is super cute. So that's the only part of the lake that's not frozen. Other than that, I am about 100% frozen, me personally. That's why I wanted to pet the dog, cuddle up a little bit, get warmer. But as far as the roads, I heard Jess and Veronica talking about it a little bit, but as far as Denver goes, I would agree with them. It's also pretty slushy here. I was talking to somebody who drives a four-wheel drive Ford F-150, and he said that he was sliding all over. So it's still pretty bad out there and something to definitely be careful of. Or you can just take your cross-country skis. So there's one idea for you. But, Nicole, back to you guys. I'm going to go see if I can go finally pet that dog. So I'll
better
be seeing
catch
you.
Up. Yeah. Don't
Take
run
care
in
now.
the snow. All right. Well, the snow has created some delays at the Denver airport as well. I'm looking at FlightAware at this moment, and there are 270 flights delayed, about 75 cancellations. The FAA did put out a weather alert for Denver about an hour ago, saying the average delay for arrivals is 1 hour, 23 minutes right now. You can get weather updates sent to your phone by downloading the free Denver7 app. You can also check the radar there and zoom into your neighborhood. Just scan the QR code on your screen with your smartphone to take you to the app download. Taking a look at some of our other headlines, a Fountain police officer will be laid to rest in a private ceremony. Officer Julian Becerra died Saturday, just over a week after he fell from a bridge while chasing a carjacking suspect. He leaves behind a wife and 2 young children. The University of Denver is investigating several incidents of anti-Semitic vandalism in campus residence halls. The incidents happened last Thursday and Sunday. Students in 2 dorms found their doors vandalized, and in some cases, religious items were also removed. The student group DU Hillel shared in a post that one of the doors had pork products glued to it. Judaism prohibits eating pork. The post also said that small acts of hate lead to bigger ones and make life unsafe for all students. Denver's police department said none of the victims have come forward to file a report with law enforcement. One of Colorado's largest hospital systems is breaking up. Centura Health announced Common Spirit Health and Advent Health are ending their partnership after 27 years. Centura says they've both grown and it's time to move on in their own directions. Centura will keep managing the hospitals during the transition, and they say there will be no disruption to patient care. If you're a parent struggling to apply for Colorado's new free preschool program, some good news for you. The deadline has been extended till February 24th. And if you've already applied but need to make some changes, you'll be able to reopen your application starting this Friday. State officials say nearly 28,000 families have signed up and more than 150 new providers have been added since the January launch. The matching process will start later this month. You should get your school details on March 30th. Still ahead, helping Coloradans with massive medical bills. State lawmakers are looking for ways to reduce this debilitating debt. And a Colorado zoo is up for an award as one of the best on the continent. Now you can put the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo at the top.